It's the bottom of the page, the last few lines of the page. The other scroll is 18A3. Okay, Itma. We're getting back. Yesterday we got into the fish. Now we're back into Sukkah. Focus on Sukkah. Itma, it was said the following discussion between some of the great rabbis of all time, Abaye and Rava. They were later Amoraim. They rabbis that had a lot of different discussions. And in general, when Abaye and Rava argued with each other, when they debated on different issues, the law generally follows Rava. Rava is the one, there's actually a cloud ruling in the Gemara that says the law follows Rava in all cases except Yal Kagam. Yal Kagam, each letter represents a different case. Yal is, let's say, Yush. It's like around 6 cases. There are 6 cases throughout the whole Shas. There are 6 cases that the law follows Abaye. The Rava seems to be the greater of the two. The fact that the law follows his opinion. It would seem to be his opinion was more the majority of the rabbis concurred and accepted his opinion. So that was Rava in most cases, but of course there are certain cases of Abaye, just like we find Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. You have many arguments in Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, and the law generally follows Beit Hillel. He has his, there are reasons why the rabbis followed his opinion, that his opinion became the more accepted opinion in general. So here we have a dispute, a machlokes between Abaye and Rava. What's the case? Mr. Habe always likes to talk about the case, the law, the reason. So here's the case. Itma. Sikech agabe asadra. You went ahead and you had a porch. Let's say, or call it a ledge coming out from the walls of the house. Or you had, let's say you have houses, you have houses, and let's say you have a row of houses on the right, a row of houses on the left, and a row in the front. So make believe if this room would be houses over that side, houses on that side, and houses on this side. So we have, let's say, what do you call like a U of houses. And then there's a space in the center that the houses open up into. That's called the Chpter. That's called a courtyard. And that courtyard is used by the members of the houses, similar to, let's say, a bungalow colony, right? Everyone has bungalows, and then it opens up into the courtyard in front. Now, the situation over here is that you took these houses, let's say this wall of this house has a ledge that, let's say they made a ledge that goes all along the wall of the houses. And they made a ledge that goes all along the wall of these houses. Now, this ledge is not kosher schach. It wasn't made for to serve as a cover for a sukkah, even if the materials will be kosher materials for a sukkah. The ledge itself is invalid material. Let's say it's cement. Let's say it's cement material. So now that material, so we have here cement. So what we had a ruling, we said that the question is, how far does this ledge come out? Because if I go ahead and I fill the middle with schach, I filled the middle of the courtyard. We wanted to make a nice big sukkah for all the members of the courtyard to use on Sukkot. So someone had an idea. They said, you know what, Adam, if you want to send to the group, thank you very much. They said, you know what, we have a ledge on this side, we got a wall back. We got a ledge on that side, and we got a wall in back, and we got wall over here. So why can't we go ahead and throw srach from one ledge to the other? We'll fill the space with srach, and we'll eat within the the schach area. And I think you might have see if you have a picture. I don't know if they put a picture in if you turn the page, right? You turn the page to 18A4. You see that picture on the right, the bottom, Mr. Haber, Adam, you see that picture on the right bottom? So you see them set on the right and the left. You have, if you look on the top right, there's that ledge. Top left is the ledge. And in the middle, they threw schach. They threw bamboo poles that are going in the middle. Okay, they threw the schach across. Now, what's unique about this picture is not only do you have the ledges in this picture, but you have underneath the end of the ledge, you have these little poles, these little pillars, right? So those pillars, those are called psimim. And if the spaces between each one of those pillars, right? You have a whole line of pillars going all, lengthwise on the right side, a whole line of pillars going lengthwise. If the spaces between each of those columns are less than 3 tfachim, less than 9 to 12 inches, we say it's as if the column is closed. So therefore, that would be considered a kosher wall. Because if the spaces are less than 3 tfachim, we have as if that space is closed. So as if you have a nice wall on your right, a nice wall on the left, and you got a wall in the back. So that would make 3 walls, and within those walls, you would have a kosher sukkah. So on 18A4 is the case when you have pesimim, when you have these columns, when you have the columns on the sides. But the question, the Gemara, so the Gemara first opens up by saying the following. If you have these columns, there's no question that everything is good. The sukkah is a kosher sukkah, but you got walls, you got kosher schach, the walls are kosher, the schach is kosher. But what about if you don't have those pillars? So imagine you don't have the pillars on the bottom, on the right and on the left. You just have the ledges on top. The ledges protruding on top. So if you just have the ledges protruding on top, so now what would it depend? It would depend if the ledge is within 4 amot. If the wall over there and the ledge that's coming out of the wall, which is not kosher schach, is less than 4 amot wide, so then we say that wall could move. Let's say the ledge comes up to here, from there to here, and it's less than 4 amot, then we can say that wall and that ceiling turns and it forms a wall over here. And so it's too on the other side, and you have the wall in the back. You got 3 walls. But I just fixed the sukkah if the ledge that comes out, that the top ceiling that comes out does not go 4 amot. If it's not, it doesn't extend 4 amot, so then I could fix the sukkah will be good because this wall would halachically move to come to right where the end of the not kosher schach is. And that would be dofen akuma. The wall moves. But the case here is talking about the problem is that this ledge, let's say he left over the ledge that's not kosher schach goes for 4 amot. Why? It's 7 feet wide of not kosher schach. Therefore, this wall. Therefore, I cannot use this wall to serve as a wall for the sukkah any longer because this wall can't move now. The wall moves halachically if it's within 4 amot of the not kosher schach. But here, since the wall is too far away to say that the wall moves. So now that the wall doesn't move, the question is there anything else that can make this sukkah kosher? Now, I want to show you a picture, most probably that's over here. Let's see if they have a picture, or they don't have that picture. You see, if you look at this picture, this is the, you see the ledge coming out, the ledge coming out. So this ledge is adjacent to the wall. Here's the wall, here's the wall, here's the wall. But since this ledge comes out too much, it's too wide, this is the ledge and this is the ledge. But since it comes out too far, we can't connect the wall if the wall doesn't move.
Doesn't matter if this doesn't have poles, do the poles?
So that's what we're gonna see. If it had poles going, then you'd be good. Then the
Wall.
poles would be the wall, exactly. If you have, like in this picture, we have the poles, even though the space, as long as the space is less than 3 tvachim, this becomes a wall, this becomes a wall, and you have koshach in the middle. But because in the case when you don't have the poles, then now, and the wall is too far to connect, to say that the wall moves to over here. So now, what do we do? So now, good morning, Max. So now the Gemara introduces a new concept. What is this new concept? It's called P-tikra, the edge of the roof. Do we say that there's a halachic wall, imaginary wall, that comes down from the edge of the roof that will go ahead and seal this space? Good morning, Simon. Good to see you back. And again, good morning, Max. So that is the question. Do we say that the edge of this, so we have over here this, so let's say we have over here, if this Gemara would be the ledge, okay? Everybody with me? Here's the wall in the back, right, Max? And I got a wall, I got a wall in the back over here. And the problem, here's the wall, and the ceiling, it starts with a ledge, which is not kosher schach. Make believe it's a metal ledge. And then I first put kosher schach over here in the middle. I got a ledge coming out on this wall, and I got a ledge coming out on this wall. And I'm going to put schach between, I'm going to attach the schach from this not kosher ledge. Starting from here, I'm going to put schach. I have empty space. I got empty space in the middle, and I put the kosher schach between these two ledges. And now, could they form a sukkah? Could I sit underneath in the empty space in this area that's in between the two ledges? I can't sit underneath. I can't sit underneath these ledges because these ledges are not kosher schach, and it's a certain amount of not kosher schach of these ledges. We said this ledge, make believe, this ledge goes for four amot wide. The ledge is 4 amot wide. So we said if the ledge is 4 amot wide, we said the wall that's on the right of this ledge and the wall that's on the left of this ledge can't move. We don't say dofen akuma, because if this would be, here's the wall, and if this ledge would be a much shorter ledge, if the ledge would only be like this size ledge, so then we would say that the wall could move to over here. If it's less than 4 amot, the ledge. But being that this ledge is not less than 4, it's more than 4 amot, so I cannot, this wall and this ledge doesn't move like this. We don't say the wall moves. So now the question is, what can be done? What can be done? Is there anything that will say that will make this thing kosher? So here we have Abaye saying something very interesting idea. Abaye says that this is the ledge, okay? He says there's the opening of this ledge, the pitikra, the mouth of this ledge. He says, we say that this mouth, this goes down. We look at this as if there's a wall that you don't see. But we say that the pitikra, the opening of this ledge, we look at it as if there's a wall that goes down this way, and we have a ledge on this side. We say that this, because you see something over here. You're looking at something. I see there's some sort of thickness of something here, and we say that we look at this as if it goes down, and therefore we've created a walls that don't exist. We have a lawyer in the room. We call it a halachic wall, an imaginary wall that would because there's an edge, because there's an the wall turning, right? The same way if I have a ledge that's less than 4 amot wide, right? The wall, one area, the wall is here. And we said if I have a wall here, if the ledge that what's adjacent to the wall is not kosher stuff, let's see, it's metal, God bless you, but if it's less than 4 amot wide, we say it all turns to over here. So now we're saying the idea also that this novel idea that Abaye tells us, Abaye says that we look at the edge of the wall that as if this edge comes down. And therefore it creates a wall on this side, and it created a wall on this side, and we already have an existing wall on the back. So now we have 3 walls. That's called Pi Tikra Yored V'Soseh, that the edge of the wall goes down and seals the area. We're going to see, let's read it inside. Now you got 3 walls, exactly. That's a big chiddush. Right, but before when we had the ledges, so we said until now, we said as long as, good morning, Charles, as long as the ledges did not come out 4 amot, we said that we could say that the wall, this wall could move. And therefore it's like it went like this. And that wall or the wall turned, and now we got a wall over here. But now we're saying even when the ledge is 4 amot wide and the wall can't turn, we can't say that this goes like this. We can't say that this wall moved to over here because it's 4 amot too far. The ledge is too far for this wall that's here to move. So it's too far away. The wall that's in back of the ledge that the ledge comes out from. We have a house. We have a wall over here of the house, right? If you look at the picture on 18, it's more than 4 amot. The ledge, they made a very wide ledge. So this ledge, here's the wall, right? So that make believe this part of the ceiling is the ledge. So if this part of the ceiling is less than 4 amot wide, we could say this wall turns and comes right to exactly the end of that ledge. But if the ledge that comes out from the ceiling is more than 4 amot wide, it goes all the way, the wall is too far of a distance for the wall to move. So now comes Abaye and he says, I got something else that's going to make it kosher. What's this? What is this not? How can it be kosher, Rabbi? That wall is not good because that wall and the ledge is coming out too far. I said that wall doesn't turn. So where are my walls? I don't have kosher. I don't have 3 kosher walls because I have a kosher wall in the back, but I don't have that wall. Is too far away from the schach. The schach is in the center, and it's too far away because it's not kosher schach running on the side. So he says there's a new halacha called the mouth of the ceiling. The mouth, when you have a mouth, an edge of a ceiling, and let's say the edge of the ceiling is coming down a certain amount, there's a certain thickness to that ceiling. Here is the thickness to the ceiling. I got some thickness over here. So he said you already have you have an edge here. We're going to look at this as if there's a wall that comes down from here that extends. The wall started over here, right? The wall started over here. I got a wall. Now, of course, Rabbi, it's not a wall. It's not 10 tefachim high. It's not the size of. I got some thickness here. I got something of. So we look at it as if halachically, Abaye said, this continued.
How do you get the line?
So for how to get it. So he understands this is how he understands this is halakha. The same way we say that the wall moves, he says that also in the same way we say if a space less than 3 tefachim is considered sealed. He says the same way as this concept, he understands in halakha of Moshe Messina, that's where the allowance comes from. He understands there's such a tradition that you say that the edge of the ceiling, this thing goes down. So you now have a halachic wall.
Is it like the top wood here, for example? Or it doesn't?
Right, exactly. It's like, he said that edge of that ceiling is as if it comes down, there's a wall.
And then
And therefore they have an imaginary wall here, an imaginary wall here, and you got a wall in the back. So if maybe let's see if they show you on the pictures in your take a look on page 18B for a second. You see 18B? 18B, the first picture, 18B1, right? You see those lines, those imaginary lines in the picture. There's no columns there. Yeah, you see the ledge on the top right and the ledge on the top left. That ledge is too wide. And therefore the wall on its right cannot move over to the end of that edge. But you have going down, you see that, Adam? You see, Max, you got that 18B1, you have those computer lines that they're putting in there, starting from the edge of that ledge. You see, we look at it as if I'm saying, you see where the line starts from, it starts from the end. If this is the ledge, from the mouth of the ledge, it comes down. That means that if we consider that a wall, we built an imaginary wall. So we've gotten, that's called Pi Tikra, Yoreid V'Sosei. The mouth of the roof goes down and closes. That is good morning. That is the issue here. So now we're going to read it inside. We're going to read it in the Gemara itself. Itma, the bottom of the page. Now we're back to 18A3 on the bottom line. Yes. Greater 4 amot wide, and therefore a new concept that Abaye offers to us. That ledge could be an imagined halachic wall. Excellent. Dr. Navid is asking what the Gemara on the next page is going to ask. Because Dr. Navid said we had a Mishnah. Good morning. The Mishnah stated that if the ledge is too wide, 4 amot wide, it said that you can't use it. And now, how could Abaye say this new idea that the ledge creates a wall, that the Pi Tikra, the opening of that the opening of the mouth of the roof goes down, and we have a halachic wall when the Mishnah stated earlier that doesn't work. So the Gemara is going to say that the case is different than the Mishnah, because it's going to be a case that there's no real edge of the roof. We'll see how the Gemara is going to get out of your question, Dr. Navid. That's going to be your test. The Gemara is going to ask that question. But our Gemara, so the Gemara is not up to that yet. That's going to be the big challenge. When you ask the Gemara's question, that means you're thinking very clearly. And that's what we always want to hear, figure out the Gemara's question. So let's see the Gemara. We're on the bottom of Yudchet Amen Aleph, 18A4. Itma. Sikech, good morning, Mr. Chpter. Sikech agabe achsadra. You went ahead and you put schach on top of these ledges that were coming out of the walls. You place schach, right? Like if you look at the picture on the bottom of on 18A4 on the bottom, in the middle there's schach. There's a ledge on the right, there's a ledge on the left, and you put schach in the middle. So now, but sheyesh la pasimim. The ledges have underneath the edges, the ledges, you have pillars. Good morning, 18A4. You have pillars coming down. If you look at that picture, you have those poles on the right and on the left. They're pillars. So as long as those pillars, now there are spaces between those pillars. What we said, we have a halachic ruling that if its space is less than 3 tefachim between each pole, less than 9 to 12 inches, it's considered sealed. That's a din of lavud. Lavud is the idea, a different halachic concept, that less than 3 is considered sealed. So it's as if there's a clear, good wall all across on the right, a good wall on the left. So there the Gemara says, if it has the simim, there's no question. Kisheira. That sukkah is kosher. And inside the schach, I can go ahead and inside those pillars, within the pillars on the right and the left, I can go ahead and sleep and eat, and I have a beautiful sukkah. There's no question when I created the pillars. Dr. Navid, the mission that you referred to earlier, there was no pillars on the bottom. There was just ledges on top. And now we have pillars, so that seems to be an obvious ruling that now those pillars will serve as walls. But here comes the novelty. She'ein lo pasimim. But in the case where there's no pillars on the bottom, we just have the ledges coming out on the side, and the ledges are very wide, and now you place schach in the middle. So comes Abaye, it comes with this new chidush. Abaye Yom Bekeshera. Abaye says, you know what? This is a kosher sukkah. And Rava argues, Sulah. Rava says, no, it's invalid. That sukkah is no good. If you don't have these pillars underneath, and you just have the outside walls, and the ledges are too wide, they're 4 amot, no good. So now the Gemara said, what do you say, Mr. That's what now the Gemara comes to explain the opinion. Comes the Gemara, Abaye Omer Keshera, now we're turning the page. Abaye says Keshera, you know why he says Keshera? Omrina. We say, Pi Tikra, the edge of the roof, Yoreid Visote. The edge of the roof goes down and closes. And Rava Amar, and Rava says, Lo Amrina Pi Tikra Yoreid Visote. We don't say that there's this halachic wall from this edge of the roof. There's no wall here. You don't say there's a wall when you don't see it. You don't see the edge of the wall goes down. Rava says, Lo Amrina Pi Tikra Yoreid Visote. That's what Rava said. We don't say it goes down. So look at number 1 in the art scroll, 18B1. Everyone see 18AB1? Yes. Right. I mean, it's just an expression about how we say it. This is what we say. We say this idea like as if this is an accepted idea, and the other one says no. We say it. I mean, this like everybody knows this is what you do. The other one says no. Everybody knows you wouldn't say it. Like I mean, like each one is saying. Everybody says this is their own opinion. Right, it's interesting language. Aminan is like each one is saying, like, we all know this, this is how we act. This we all know that this is what we say. As if each one is saying, my opinion is not like this is like something that everybody knows. Aminan. So look at number 1 on 18AB. Number 1, the rule of Pi Tikra. Everyone have it? The footnote on the bottom, 1, 18AB, 18B. The rule of pick a literally edge of a roof, which is a specific application of the general concept of Gur Achid, that the wall extends, allow us to view the edge of a roof as descending to the floor. the edge of that roof is as if that edge, which is like right over here is the edge, if it goes all the way down to the floor and forming a valid partition. In our case, the edge of the beams in each port's roof can therefore be viewed as extending downward, forming partitions on all three sides of the sukkah. Okay? That is, now I'm going to have to see how the Gemara is going to qualify and, explain this more in detail. So that is the machloket here. Do we say that the edge goes down, or do we say that the edge doesn't go down? Comes Amalei Rava Labayit. So Rava challenges Abayit. What's his challenge? He says, Lididach, according to your opinion, the Amrit, that you say, you said this novelty. You said that the edge of the roof goes down and closes that area as if there's a wall there. So if that's the case, what about if you're missing the middle wall? We know that we know if there's two walls and you have these ledges coming out, and you will not, and you don't have that back wall, that third wall in the back, you don't say your principle, you don't say that the sukkah is kosher. You say that the sukkah is not kosher because you don't have three walls. But you say you only have two walls. But why do you? But you should say that even if the back wall is missing, you should say that the pitikre, that the edge. Let's say you have the edge of you have the schach, right? I got a wall here. I got a ledge here. I got a ledge here. But once I put the schach becomes my new roof. So the edge of the schach should come down and say, now I have, here's the bamboo stick. So let's say, why shouldn't it close it up? It should form a wall. And yet you say, if you're missing that middle wall, you will not say that law. Oh, but if you do that concept, so then that I have the ledge here. Yeah, but we say it's going down straight down. So if I have the schach, if the schach is going across, so then the edge of that schach should come down and form a wall. So now I have another wall on that side. So according to you, you should say, Pi tikre yoreid v'sosem. Should come down and seal the deal.
The Succah is in association specifically the legends, not kosher stock. That's my understanding. It doesn't seem like the stock.
So
is like if those ledgers were kosher stock, then we would have stock. Right, remember it comes.
But right, look at the picture. Look at picture in 3 in 18b3, right? 18b3, you got, what do you have in 18b3? You got two walls. You see 18b3, everybody? You got a wall on the right, Mr. Haber. You see 18b3 on the bottom, 3 on the bottom left side. You see that picture? You got a wall on the right and you got a wall on the left. Okay, got two good walls. But in the back and the front, you don't have any walls. Now you have the schach on top. These schach are like boards that are, let's say, not too wide. The boards are pretty narrow boards, and the kosher schach. Now, take the back board all the way in the back You see that backboard, everybody, or the front board all the way in the front. You see, take that front board, see that, Max, and use that edge as if that edge goes down. So now really you got 4 walls. You got the best sukkah. If you say that if they all come down, you got 4 walls. Adam, you see that?
But
You got an edge of that. You got a board, Max. That's Rava's challenge to Abaye.
when that kosher stop and the whole thing that I with that create only with that non-kosher plant. It's supposed to stop.
Right, but it's not a kosher sukkah because you're missing 2 walls in that sukkah. So it's true that Abaye said his principle by the ledge. You're correct. But the Gemara is saying his principle, the idea is it's about the edge of a ceiling. So creating a wall should not make a difference whether it's an edge of a ledge or an edge of a board. And even if the board is kosher schach, that edge we should say that edge, we should view that edge as if that edge extends. I got a little thickness of, I got a certain amount of thickness of that edge, and look at that as if it extends, as if it goes down, like we saw in that dotted picture above. But that's the Gemara's question. What we and nobody and Abaye, we know Abaye would agree that sukkah wouldn't be kosher. A sukkah with just 2 walls with these kosher boards on top, we're not going to say it's kosher. Even though Abaye goes on record by the ledges, but in that case, you had a wall in the back. You had the ledges on the side and you got a kosher wall in the back. Abaye said his law. But in this case, when you only have 2 walls, Abaye didn't say his law. So the Rava's challenge to Abaye, hey, great Rabbi Abaye, why don't you, if your principle is correct, why doesn't it work over here by 2 walls? And if it doesn't work by 2 walls, it shows you that the principle doesn't work. And if the principle doesn't work, it will not work by 3 walls as well. And we will not, meaning to say, it will not work by this ledge on the right and a ledge on the left and create an imaginary wall. If the edge doesn't create a wall in a 2-wall structure, it won't, that means it doesn't create a wall. And if it doesn't create a wall, you can't use this concept by the ledges. He's stuck. That's his question. No, but Abaye agrees if you're in the picture. But the question is, why not? Meaning, if you hold to the concept that the edge goes down, what's the difference in how many walls you began with? What's the difference if the case was you have a ledge on the right and a ledge on the left, and you have a wall in the back, kosher wall in the back, or you have only 2 walls? But the question is, if there's a concept of that the ledge goes down, it shouldn't make a difference. And that's the question. Why? You're right. The answer is it is going to make a difference. But the question is why? But Abaye would also say 2 walls like that. If you don't have a 3rd wall configuration, but we don't have that on record that Abaye would say that. We only have Abaye on record that he said when there was at least one of the walls was sealed. He didn't say that. We didn't find the case that you had only 2 walls that look like this. And Abaye would say, unless you're saying your answer is that the configuration is different, right? Abaye, right. Now the question is why? Why? Okay, so we're going to see that the Gemara is going to say that when it's open in that picture, that it's only have walls on this side and it's open on this side, we can't say that we look at it as an enclosed area when the area is actuality, it's open running through and through. So therefore, that's what he's going to say. In this configuration, when it's closed on these side parallel, it's closed. But it's open through and through, like in that picture, like you put, and we could run right through it. You don't look at it like that close. But an L, but if you have the case that we had before, when you had a kosher wall here, and now you go ahead and it's not going to run then, and we're going to create this, and we have also in our configuration there was the wall of the house in the back, but the wall in the house at the back wasn't able to use as a sukkah wall. But since there's a wall in the back, we could use this configuration to look at it to say that it comes down and it's sealed. And that's what the Gemara is going to say. We'll see tomorrow more details, 7:26. To be continued, everybody. Fascinating Gemara. We introduced a new concept today of the edge of the wall coming down. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you all for joining.